Hey, welcome to the 10-Minute Daily Reality Check. You know what's funny? Obi and I are sitting here right now, and as I bring you into my world, I bring you into my friends, and my friends are all these amazing, wise, evolved people. And we get into these ridiculous conversations. It's almost like we should have the mic going 24/7 and literally have behind the podcast. It's like what Oprah did, right? Behind the show. Because the conversation we were just having is a conversation that would, well, guys would love.
It would both frighten and inspire.
Yes. It would frighten and inspire men. I think women would get triggered nonstop, but if they re-listened to the conversation we were just having, they would literally embrace it because it really was inside the way men are kind of thinking, right? So we didn't really know what we were going to talk about in today's reality, and we decided that we live in a society nowadays where we're judging each other nonstop. We're posting something on Facebook, right? And then we're judging somebody. And then we're judging somebody based on a picture. And we meet somebody on a swipe dating. And we're judging them before we even go out with them. And we're judging them based on what they text us. And we're judging people based on picture number 3. And then when we finally meet somebody, we're listening for the stories of judgment. You know, it's almost like there's a judge and jury in your head, and we're judging it. And one of the biggest things, and Obi, you know this, because Obi has also been in the dating industry for a long time. What is the thing you cringe the most about on a date with somebody brand new? When they ask you that question, so, what do you do for work?
Well, I tell them I'm a copywriter, which is true.
Right, but then they say, copywriting what? Because women are very inquisitive. Who do you copyright for?
So it depends. You know, I have the very base answer, because I also work in health and fitness and other industries, but I also work in dating. And when I tell them dating,
they fixate on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't really understand it. I think there's an idea of dating as like the old PUA pickup artist type guys. Though I don't think I come across that way, so I don't know. I think it's
guilty by association.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem we have. You know, it's like I absolutely cringe when somebody wants to Google me.
Yeah.
To me, it's like the second they Google me, I'm thinking, there goes the magic of Boy Meets Girl. Here comes me being a lawyer. You know, I've got to go defend my position now. And it's interesting, you know, because in a way, if I have to defend my position with somebody, it means that they're really not my high vibrational equal in the first place. Because let's just say dating you or I, we definitely have some magic powers that other people don't have. And that's not bragging. We understand human psychology. When you're a copywriter and when you're a coach, I've been coaching 17 years. You've been copywriting for almost 8 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, a long time. We know, we get in the minds of people. So we understand and we see things. Plus, being involved in dating and relationships, we see all different things. And I think one of the things that's really huge is people judge people based on their past instead of looking at their past and going, oh my God, all those amazing fuck-ups. Oh my God, that night that you partied till 7 o'clock in the morning and you had sex with like 3 different people, like, wow, that's such a cool thing to do at 19 years old. But people will always judge that, 20 years later, like, ooh, I can't believe they did that.
Yeah, I think it's silly because if you like the person that you're sitting in front of, all those things, all those experiences are the reason why they are who they are right now.
Yep.
You know, like all the shitty things, all the mistakes, all the the triumphs, all the experiences make up who this person is. And so I really don't even care. I remember when I was younger, I cared because I was insecure. I would always be worried about what she did or what happened before me. But now I don't care. I really don't care at all. I just want to have this experience, and for me, it's all about being in the moment. Like I really just want to have us enjoy each other. For me, that's like how I kind of think about it. It's like I just want us to enjoy each other. Let's not worry about the future. Let's not worry about the past. Let's just be here right now and just have fun.
Yeah, but I can hear women churning in their brain right now. But what they did in the past can actually reflect what may happen in the future. Not necessarily, because it depends how far in the past. If we're talking Star Wars past, in a land far, 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 far away, in a galaxy far away, there were things that I did in my 20s that were decades ago.
Yeah.
You know, the way that I chased women, the way that I slept with women, the way that I manipulated women. I mean, I'm the first to admit it. I mean, that's what I did when I was a 22, 23, 24-year-old man.
Yeah.
That was my journey. That was my path. I haven't done that in decades. So if you're going to judge somebody, you can judge them on their recent past. because their recent past is definitely a reflection of who they are now.
Or recently, I mean, it's not necessarily even now. I mean, like, you can think that if you actually took something from your last breakup, right? If you actually took the lesson that it was there to teach you and you grew from that, then who you were in that last breakup even isn't who you are right now.
No,
so
you're not even somebody. I mean, you wake up every single day. You have a chance to regenerate.
Yeah.
Your soul cells are regenerating as long as your soul is regenerating. If you're constantly looking at things as new opportunities, and that's what really being present is all about. Because I know I've done things in my past that are definitely different. I mean, I have been with a lot of women. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. If you're going to date me, you're going to know that. I've been with a lot of women. I've had a lot of relationships. I've been married a bunch of times. But my recent past, and I think this is really important, is not, haven't had a really serious relationship in, almost 4 years. I don't sleep around. I haven't slept around in probably 10 years. I mean, that's how you have to look at somebody. What happened, all those amazing things that somebody did, and that's how I've always looked at women too. There was a guy one time I was coaching, and he said, he went out, he was dating this woman, and he said, God, she's the best in bed ever and the best blowjob ever. And he goes, I'm just concerned. And I said, what are you concerned about? He says, how did she learn how to do this? And I said, well, I mean, obviously on men, she wasn't using bananas and she wasn't using her vibrator.
Yeah.
So embrace that. It's like you should call the guy up that she learned how to do this on and say, hey dude, thanks a lot for being a stunt penis and being the penis that she learned all these amazing tactics on, because now I'm the beneficiary of it. And I think people they don't look at that way.
I remember I had one of those experiences. I was with my first girlfriend. We ended up off and on. We were off and on for like 7-8 years. And so we would break up and then we would date other people and then we'd come back together and we'd always do that. And so I remember one time I went over to her place and we made out in my car, and then she started giving me head in the car. And I remember, like, it was so good. Like, it was better than it was ever. And I remember thinking, like, she got really good at this all of a sudden. And I remember thinking, like, how did she get good at this? I was like, this is all happening in, like, a span of, like, 7 seconds as she was, like, giving me head. And then I thought, she must have been sucking a bunch of other dicks. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm enjoying it, right? Like, it's good. So I just let it go. I, like, let it drift off. And then I was cool about it, because in the end, I was benefiting. So,
but that's how you have to look at it, and that's the beauty of getting older and experience. It's like we bring the experience to each other. We've had experiences with other people. We've had other lovers. We've had other relationships. All this experience is amazing. What are we looking for? I mean, in today's society, in today's culture, I want to meet. I know you. We talked about this off recording. I want to meet somebody who's like me. Come on, bring your fucked up past, bring all your crazy fucking experiences, show them to me, tell me all about it, because I'm not going to judge you at all. And let's just enjoy the fact that we've lived a crazy fucking ass life, and we ended up finding each other because we understand one another. And that's what I think I always stress to people all the time. You got to find people that vibrate on the same level as you, because then there'll be no judgment. You'll be able to really relax into the fact that they're equally sexually adventurous. They're equally sexually, confident. They're equally emotionally confident. They've been equally fucked up in the past. They've done crazy things and they've owned it. And that's what I really always want. Just own your shit. Because if you own your shit, I'm going to love your shit. Bring your shit in. Bring it in bags. But, as you and I know, as long as that bag fits in the overhead when we fly, because we don't want to lose time at luggage check-in.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny though. We were so afraid of it though. But really, when you show yourself and you show who you are, it's you seem like a more real human being, and it's easier to connect to that person, right? It's easier to connect when you can say, maybe that's the reason why you love seeing their shit so much. You're telling me you want a fucked up chick, and I was like, why? And I think it's because you see her humanity. Like she seems like a real person, and it doesn't seem like she's wearing a mask. Because anybody that seems too perfect or too clean or too whatever, too much in one direction, you start to get a little skeptical. Like, who are you really?
Oh, I dated Jim Carrey the Mask, but she was a girl, and I used to see the mask all the time. She'd put the mask on. The makeup was the mask. She covered herself up. The emotions were the mask. She sugarcoated everything, and it drove me nuts because you couldn't get downright raw with that.
She'd always try to make everything good.
Everything good.
Like, no, how you really feel about it though? Like, don't try to spin this to make it like, positive. Like, it's not. I get the whole idea about being positive, but also like, what do you really feel? Like, what are you really feeling right now?
They're not in touch with that at all.
Yeah.
And then they'll blame it on you, and they'll tell you that you're in your head when you're trying to get really into their heart.
Yeah.
And their heart doesn't say anything because they've been taught to be very prim and proper and everything else. And their control. I mean, anybody who has not lived their shit, and that's what I think really turns me on about an amazing woman that has shit, is that she's telling me, hey, David, I have not lived my life in control. As a matter of fact, I have been out of control. I mean, look at my 20s. My 20s, I was out of control. I was drinking. I was smoking pot. I was doing mushrooms. I was out till 7 o'clock in the morning, then getting on the train to going out to Jones Beach, then having sex with random women, okay, that I barely knew for an hour. I was out of fucking control. I didn't catch anything, no sexually transmitted diseases, nor did I die. You know, I mean, I didn't die from the alcohol abuse. I didn't die from the weed abuse. I didn't die from the mushrooms. I didn't die, because I was out of control, and that's what made me me, and those experiences are so great. So it's such a turn on to look at somebody and say, yeah, I was fucking out of control too, and now I'm in control because of those experiences, but yet they have that sense of adventure too. Anybody who's spent their whole life in control, man, they have no sense of adventure. And as you know, sexually, they're the hardest women to make come. Yeah. Because they're constantly in their heads.
They're in their heads. Yeah. No, I think it's great. I think life is to be lived, and to just be here in the moment, and not to sound like some kind of spiritual guru, but like really just like this is it, like this is it right here. And I try to do this, like if I ever feel like I'm on a date, or if I'm dating someone and she starts to get too far ahead of me, I'm just like, no, like this is it right here. Like
this is it.
This is it.
Doesn't get better than this.
No.
Have you watched the show Billions?
When you told me to watch it, I think I'm on episode 5 of the first season.
Okay, so there's a great, hey, if you want, I'll watch all. When you get through you get through all the episodes of season 1, I'll watch season 2 with you again.
Okay.
Because there's some great shit. There's one quote, and we're going to leave the podcast at this. When Bobby Axelrod looks at Taylor, the transgender-looking, neutral sex character that's really brilliant, he looks at her, and says, "You have one life, live it." I mean, and it's so poignant, and that's what it is. You have one life, live it. Don't judge your life. You have one life, live it. Anyway, Obi's going to be back because he's in the house for at least a couple of weeks, so we're going to have him back pretty much on a regular basis. The rest of you, share love, spread the love. The podcast needs as many listeners as possible, because every day we're going to give you a 10-minute daily reality check, because radical self-help doesn't suck. Regular self-help does. We're going to show you how to unwind your head and spin it in a whole different direction, and never judge anybody ever again. I'll see you tomorrow on the show.